Coming up on Yellowcopter Moments, the President of the United States, who never served in the military, claims that the best for about 2,000. If only the White House had some sort of room where they could brief the press. They really should look into that. Because right now, all we've got is this guy yelling by a helicopter. Welcome to Yellowcopter Moments. I am your Kevinly Father, Kevin Williams. And as soon as I see somebody in the chat room, there's one right there. That is Dr. Lisa, one of our newest patrons. We will get going. So welcome, Dr. Lisa. We'll give it just a couple of seconds here for other people to catch up. Big day today on the live stream. We will be covering this Yellowcopter Moments. Then we've got a presidential Dear Leader meeting. Where they're going to have a round table and a rectangular table, most likely, about the border wall. Then Trump's going to go to the border wall and praise himself at the border wall and collect the check from Mexico, I assume. Then we've got a rally tonight. Corona Bowl 2 is coming to you live from Phoenix, Arizona. We'll be covering that one live, and I want all of you there to join in the chat. For those of you watching but not chatting, that's awesome. That's great. Happy to have you here. And I appreciate everybody who writes to me afterwards and says thank you or criticizes me or whatever. That's all good. I can take it. If you'd like to support this and be one of the wonderful resistors who does participate financially as well and helps me out, you can go to kevinlyfather.com. So this one is not that long. It's about 7 minutes. It's 7 minutes and 30 seconds exactly. Let's listen to the president if we can hear him. For those of you who listen to the intro with the helicopter noise, my apologies.
Everybody.
Hello.
So we're going to Arizona. We're celebrating. We have over 200 miles of wall built. It's been incredible. Our numbers on the border, as you know, are at just about a record-breaking low. People are not being able to cross the
That's C-SPAN
border.
pausing, not me.
The wall has helped because we have more than 200. We have about 212 miles up of wall. So that's good, and we're going to be doing a number of other things. We're going to be making a speech to young people in Arizona, and we'll be meeting with some of the Arizona officials to talk about their border and how strong it's become. It's become very strong. Last night, we stopped an attack on a great monument, the
Andrew
monument
Jackson,
of
Trail of Tears.
Andrew Jackson in Lafayette Park, and I just want to thank law enforcement. They did a great job. Working very closely with the White House Secret Service and some of our executives. It was really, they did a great job. They stopped at Cole. Numerous people are in jail and going to jail today. People are already there, but we're looking at long-term sentences under the Act. We have a very specific Monuments Act, and we are looking at long-term jail sentences for these vandals and these hoodlums and these anarchists.
Nobody's going to jail. The Andrew Jackson statue actually wasn't taken down. It's still standing there. The cops came in, and I don't know whether there's tear gas or not. I've heard reports of tear gas, but I haven't looked into it. The bottom line is the president has tear gassed American protesters.
And agitators, and call them whatever you want. Some people don't like that language, but that's what
Protesters?
they
Statue
are.
taker-downers?
They're bad people. They don't love our country. And they're not taking down our monuments. I just want to make that clear. And other than that, go ahead.
Mr. President, do you have...
You can love our country without liking some of the things about our country. I'm not a big fan of slavery. My great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great granddaddy, Roger Williams, he founded Rhode Island. He hated slavery. They banished him because of it.
an executive order regarding the monument? What will it accomplish?
I will have an executive order very shortly, and all it's really going to do is reinforce what's already there, but in a...
So nothing. Reinforce what's already there is nothing, because he can't set jail sentences with an executive order. Meanwhile, hey Stephanie, hey Human, hey Lisa, hey Joanna, producer Joanna, good to see you. Hey Lizzie, hey Marcy, hey again Stephanie, and I missed a couple of people who came in here. Welcome everybody who's new here. If you want to jump into the chat room, please do it. That chat over there, you can't click on that and make it work, but you can chat in Twitter, Periscope. You can chat on YouTube. There's a number of different ways to get your input right up in there, and we love to see it. And usually it's much more interesting than me, definitely much more interesting than this guy. Hey, Carol, good to see you. Okay, let's get going again.
More uniform way, okay? I want to also say this. If the state government, because you see them all over in Seattle, they're very weak. And in Minnesota, they might
C-SPAN pausing, not me.
Need help. If they need help, the federal government is willing to help them. If these hoodlums come around, these are not protesters, by the way. These are anarchists and other things. If these hoodlums come around, and if the states can't handle it, we are ready, willing, and able to help, as we did in Minnesota, where we stopped after 4 days. They finally called, and we did a great job.
That was the National Guard, and the governor called them in.
With the National Guard.
Mr. President, are you planning to make any changes at your campaign after the Oklahoma rally?
Yeah.
Are you planning to make any changes at your campaign after the Oklahoma rally?
Hogan Gidley.
Oh, he just announced this. Hogan Gidley, who works in the White House press,
for that reason,
he's moving to the Trump
as you probably
campaign.
have heard, Fox had the highest ratings on a Saturday night in the history of Fox. So that's the ultimate poll.
So if you watched in his mind, if you watched the Corona Bowl from Tulsa, you're a supporter of Trump. In the same way that he watched all the coverage last night of those protesters and resistors and rioters pulling down that statue. Therefore, Trump is a rioter. It's just logic.
I guess, but the ratings on Saturday night for Fox were the highest ratings in the history of Fox News, which is, I guess, a long history.
Hey, Meteor.
So
hey,
that
Andy.
was the number one Saturday night in history. We actually had a nice crowd, and despite all of the...
He just loves saying history. There's the highest rating they've ever had on a Saturday night. That's enough in history. He just doesn't like spelling history.
Warnings and everything else that other networks were trying to do, despite the fact that we had some pretty bad people waiting there, they shouldn't have been. Maybe some of the same people I just talked about. We had a nice crowd.
He's bragging about a 2/3 empty stadium.
But we had the highest ratings in the history of Fox on Saturday night. And online, I heard the record was unbelievable. I heard the numbers were unbelievable. I think you probably know that. What were the numbers online? Do you know?
I don't know, sir.
Well, you should know, because you should report it.
Mr. President, are you...
See, if that was me, if I was that reporter, I'd say, I don't have specific numbers, sir, but everyone loves a train wreck.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm not in the White House press corps.
I don't kid.
Okay, so the question there, were you kidding? This is what everybody's talking about today. Were you kidding about slowing down the testing? And his response is, I don't kid, which he said many times. This is a routine thing that happens. He says something like, Russia, if you're listening, if you come up with those emails, the media will reward you mightily. Which, first off, is like, what the hell are you saying? Secondly, okay, now you're asking for help from a foreign power. And then later in the same press conference, Katie Tur asked him, were you being serious? And he's like, yeah, I really want to see those emails. And then his campaign says, no, he's being sarcastic. Oh, no, he was only joking. He was just kidding around. And then he comes out and doubles down and says, I don't kid. In fact, I've got something on that, but let's go back to listen to him. So were you joking about slowing down the testing?
Let me just tell you, let me make it clear. We have got the greatest testing program anywhere in the world. We test better than anybody in the world. Our tests are the best in the world, and we have the most of them. By having more tests, we find more cases. We did 25 million tests. Think of that, 25 million. If you look at other countries, they did 1 million.
Again, this is C-SPAN pausing on
2
us.
million, 3 million, big countries. We did 25 million, way more by double, triple, quadruple.
We are still 25th in terms of testing, in terms of country in the world per capita, But again, that depends on what kind of per capita you're talking about. Here's Trump on kidding.
So I said to my people, slow the testing down, please.
Come on now, Jay. You know it was tongue-in-cheek.
Did the president...
Come on now. That was tongue-in-cheek.
Come on.
I don't kid. I don't kid.
I don't kid. I don't kid. I don't kid. Let me
He
tell
doesn't
you.
kid.
I don't kid.
Doesn't
No,
kid.
I don't kid.
Politicians think we're joking. We don't joke. We don't joke.
We don't joke.
But I'm joking.
Are you joking?
But I'm joking.
You know,
joking
I was
about-
joking, but I'm really not joking.
You're not joking.
I don't kid.
But I was joking, and I said, huh.
But I was joking, and I said, huh, because I haven't taken the course on how to laugh like a human yet.
Any other country. Therefore, we test. We're going to have more cases. By having more cases,
Hey,
it
Yusuf.
sounds bad. But actually what it is we're finding people. Many of those people aren't sick or very little. You know, they may be young people. But what's happened is because of all of the cases that we find, we have a very low mortality rate. Just about the best in the world.
No.
So that's the advantage to the
Not even close. And this is where reporters should say, but the 127,000 Americans who are dead, sir, whether you test or not, they're still dead.
along with other things. But just remember this. The reason we have more cases than other countries is because our testing is so much. Other countries, listen, other countries do very little testing by comparison. So we're going to do this year, right now, up till yesterday, I think they told me, we're over 25 million tests.
We are. That's true, actually.
Other countries are at 2
But again,
million, 3
per
million.
capita.
Here's what I say. Testing is a double-edged sword. In one way, it tells you you have cases. In another way, you find out where the cases are, and you do a good job.
Okay, a double-edged sword is exactly what you want. Otherwise, you're in a fight, and the guy's like, whoa! And then you swing back the other way, and he's like, it's only got one edge. I mean, you really should just be the saying should be a no-handled sword, because then you're holding it, and you're like, goddamn, let's just slap. Stupid expression.
We are doing a great job. We have never been credited for it. We're doing the best testing job anywhere in the world. We're doing the best ventilator job anywhere in the world. We're now supplying ventilators to the entire world. Nobody else has done that. Nobody else. Countries don't have ventilators. They call the
What do they do?
United States.
There we go.
We've done a great job. We have not been given credit for it. The other thing, the Tulsa rally was incredible. Despite all of the horrible, ominous warnings that you people put out over a period of 2 weeks, the crowd was wonderful. They were warriors. It was a great crowd. But many of them stayed home and watched television. And what happened is Fox on Saturday night had the biggest rating in the history of Fox television. Thank you very much, everybody.
On a Saturday night, possibly just for a rally. But I mean, honestly, usually on a Saturday night, they've got Jesse Waters' show and Greg Gunfeld's show and Judge Janine. So 7.7 million. So 2% of the population watched on Fox. And I think that's it. Now he just wanders off into the noise. I saw a couple of you thank me for putting together the I Don't Lie segment, or that I Don't Lie. God, that could go forever. The I Don't Kid. He's been saying this for a long time. And every time he says something stupid, I was injecting stuff. He was sarcastic. And then he doubles down on it. Just the same as it was, right after Charlottesville or Charlottetown or Charlotte or whatever that place was. Where he said, there's bad people on both sides and good people on both sides, very fine people, and then read a statement where he's saying, no, I condemn the violence and the hate groups. Nobody should hate. And then a week later at a press conference on infrastructure, by the way, this is the worst infrastructure week yet. this entire year. He doubled down on it, and that's when he came up with the "on many sides, very fine people" again. So he's complete. He doesn't care what his campaign, what his handlers do, if there are any left. He's just going to say what he wants to say, and then when he's asked about it, he'll sort of skirt the issue like he did on an interview yesterday, which I haven't even had time to look at. So we'll save that. We got too much going on today. We'll look at that another day. Let's see here. Dr. Fauci's fighting for us right now. You're right, Dr. Lisa. I was watching a little bit of that. Dr. Fauci is testifying before Congress explaining that, yeah, this is really bad and we're going to get a second wave. We will have a vaccine at some point. But I hate to tell you guys this, but the fastest vaccine ever was for the mumps, and it was about 4.5 years. Now, we've got new technology for making these vaccines, but nothing is guaranteed right now. Yes, it's at Random's hometown, Charlottesville, right? At Random? Charlotte's something? I don't know. I'm a Canadian. What the hell do I know? No, actually, I immigrated to the United States, so I'm a bi-citizen. I'm a dual citizen. Everybody's beautiful. I think a plane is landing on my house right now. Hello, Monique. Welcome. Thank you for enjoying my tweets. I enjoy having you in here. Nice to see you chatting. Paul, good to see you here as well. There's been a bunch of people. Folks, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to play the credits of all the wonderful people who contribute to this and help make this happen. If you'd like to be part of that, you can either go to paypal.me/KevinLeeDad, or even better, become a patron by going to kevinleefather.com. And signing up to be a patron there. I'm going to show you a list of patrons. We've got other things coming up today, and I'm going to give you rough times on this. We're going to take his roundtable and his talking at the border wall, and we're going to put them together. So that cuts down on the number of broadcasts. So less Kevin. That's good. And I've got the times here. Let's do this. Frickin' Lindsay. Okay, so at about 3:30 Eastern, so 12:30 Pacific, we're going to try and put those two together. Again, this is all depending on his schedule. So once the border wall is done, I'll put them together. We'll have you guys in here. We'll talk about that. Bye, Lizzie. And then at about 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern, that's when Corona Bowl 2 starts, the rally coming to you live from Arizona, and we'll cover that one live. So whenever he starts lying in Phoenix, that's what we're going to cover. And before we get to that, I wanted to just touch with you guys on this. Give me a second to pull it up here. Arizona. This is where he's giving the press conference. Arizona. And look at this. This is what's happened in Arizona with coronavirus. This is not due to the testing. You don't ramp up 597%. Let's just say 600. Oh, but if I do that, then you people out there they'll fact check me. And he was off by, By the way, I'm mocking the president when I'm doing this. I'm mocking the president, mocking the disabled. But he treats everybody who goes against him like this. It's not, that's a whole other thing. We'll get into that another time. Producer Joanna says, Fauci. That sounds like a great song in Spanish. And or Italian. Fauci. Lisa, the positive number of tests are going up. That's absolutely right. And that's what's happening in Florida. And I think Dr. Lisa said earlier in the chat room something about Orlando scaling back on the opening up. I don't know if that's true or not. I hope it is. Just everybody stay safe until our next time together, which is going to be about 12:30 Pacific, 3:30-ish. Again, depends on Trump and how slow he gets around. I mean, he's supposed to start talking and be at the border wall just before 3:30. But if there's a ramp involved... All right, we will see you guys soon. Here are all the good people in my life.